You know, if I could redefine I totally agree with that, by the way. If I could
That's
redefine,
because you're a smart person.
exactly. And as you know, I fear all women. Okay,
Because you're a smart person.
exactly. You know, let me redefine it just a touch. The Rather than being nice, I want to show value. And what I mean is the left only values people insofar as those people make choices that the left wants them to make. If we on the right really value liberty and choice and freedom, then we should value it in a person even if they choose against what we want, even if they make choices we don't like. You know, I always tell people I don't want my lifestyle to be your laws. Okay. And what I see too often in the right is we become too liberal. We let liberalism seep into the right because we start to lash out at people when we see them not choosing the way we want them to choose. Now, part of that can be frustration because they're purposefully being uninformed and they're shoving information away and just listening to Comedy Central or whatever. I get that. I get the frustration there. But does your value for somebody hinge on how much they agree with you? In that case, you don't value them at all. You only value agreement with you. And if you only value agreement with you, then the only one you value is you. We on the right need to start valuing these wonderful miracles we call people. Because in the left, they don't. They never will. They see people as something to be controlled, chess pieces on their board of life. The second we start showing people value and showing them, look, I want to share information with you, not run you over, not hate you the moment you disagree with me. The second we do that and show them value, we have an enormous leg up on the left because they'll never do that.
I think that's a really good point. And if we can remember to value the other person, that sort of automatically makes you be nice. Because when you value the assets that the other person has, even if you disagree with them, you're going to be nice to them and try to persuade them to agree with you on those things that you disagree on, or to at least work with you on other things. Because I find it more difficult to be mean to someone that I see as a fellow person that adds value. So I think you're right. Remembering that everybody has value that they can contribute and something that is beautiful and magical and wonderful about them makes me automatically be nice.
Well, and I think too that we need to distinguish between fighting hard and being milquetoast about things, or dialing back, because there might be a more positive way or a more engaging way to say something, does not mean that one is not still firing with both barrels. That
Exactly.
you can be a person who's using logic, reason, and also tactics to appeal to a person's and capture their attention, appeal to their sense of justice or their sense of fairness or their sense of rights and morality, whatever you want to appeal to. You can do those things without beating someone over the head in that sort of engagement. That does not necessarily mean that you're not fighting. It's a different way of saying something. It's a different way of getting to the same goal. And at the same time, it doesn't mean that, calling names is completely off the table. It's just, so many of us start there. And I would prefer people to take a step back, and if they think someone doesn't look like they're fighting hard because they're not using that tough and pugilistic language, that it might be because they're taking a different approach, not because they're backing off of a strong position.
Well, I think that's a great point because, look, what I'm trying to clarify here, and by the way, I'm all for name calling. I'm a Christian. Jesus said, "You brood of vipers, you whitewashed tombs." Okay, look, name calling is simply a way to boil something down into a label to simplify. It's not evil in and of itself, but it can be lazy and weak. It can demonstrate weakness. It depends on how you use it. Here's the thing. I want them to understand the sin is not disagreeing with me. The sin is being corrupt. The sin is lying.
And going slow is a way of fighting hard but fighting smart. If we go piecemeal, the discussion is about the very granular issue, and we can talk about the pros and cons of it. If we were to start out with repeal all of Obamacare, then the discussion is about, do you want poor people to die in the streets?